The Galactic Council had existed for 12,000 cycles, a monument to civilization and order. Within the crystalline halls of Station Perpetua, representatives from 400 species deliberated on matters of trade, territory, and technological exchange. They had rules, protocols, an understanding that had kept the peace across 1,000 star systems. The humans had been discovered 3 cycles ago, a primitive species barely capable of leaving their own solar system. The Council had classified them as Category 7, developing but irrelevant. They would be monitored, perhaps contacted in another millennium when they'd matured enough to understand galactic society. Then came the broadcast. Ambassador Thexla of the Vryn Collective was the first to receive it. The message arrived on every military frequency, every diplomatic channel, every communications relay from the Outer Rim to the core worlds. It was impossible to ignore and even more impossible to trace. The transmission was simple. No elaborate introduction, no diplomatic pleasantries, just 3 words in flawless galactic standard, followed by coordinates and a timestamp. "We're coming, wait!" The council chamber erupted into chaos. 400 species, each convinced of their own superiority, found themselves united in a single emotion: confusion. How had this primitive species broken every encryption standard known to galactic civilization? How had they infiltrated networks that had been secure for millennia? High Arbiter Quelzon, a being of pure energy contained within a magnetic field, called for order. "This is clearly a hoax," his translated voice resonated through the chamber. Some faction attempting to create panic. But deep down, Quelzon knew better. The message had arrived simultaneously across the entire galaxy, a feat requiring computational power that shouldn't exist outside the core worlds. The coordinates pointed to the Zeta Persei system, a contested mining territory where 3 species had been locked in a cold standoff for decades. The timestamp gave them 6 solar days. At first, the Council did nothing. Pride prevented them from taking the threat seriously. Humans still used chemical propulsion. Their weapons were kinetic. Their ships couldn't even breach light speed. What could they possibly do to civilizations that had mastered gravity manipulation and quantum tunneling? On the 3rd day, the Kravik Empire, ever aggressive, sent a battle fleet to the coordinates. 60 warships, each capable of glassing a planet. They would show these upstart humans what happened when lesser species made threats. The fleet never reported back. On the 4th day, panic set in. Every attempt to reach the Kravik fleet met with silence. Long-range scans showed the ships were still there, but they weren't responding. They weren't moving. They were just floating. The Council dispatched a science vessel under heavy escort. What they found defied explanation. The Kravik fleet was intact but completely non-functional. Every system was dead: power, life support, communications, weapons. The crews were alive but unconscious, their neural patterns showing signs of exposure to an unknown frequency. Most disturbing of all, carved into the hull of the flagship in letters a kilometer high, was a message. "We warned you. This is mercy." On the 6th day, humanity arrived. They didn't come in warships. They didn't come with weapons drawn. They came in a single vessel, a construct of dark matter and folded space that made sensors scream in protest just by existing. It materialized at the exact coordinates given in the warning, at the exact time specified. Admiral Sarah Chen's face appeared on every screen in Council space. She was younger than most species expected, her dark eyes carrying the weight of someone who'd seen more than her years suggested. Behind her, the bridge of her ship showed technology that shouldn't exist. Quantum matrices, neural link interfaces, artificial intelligence so advanced it made the Council's best systems look like counting beads. "Members of the Galactic Council," she began, her voice calm and measured. "For 3 years we've been listening, watching, learning everything about you while you dismissed us as primitive. You made a critical error. You assumed that because we hadn't left our solar system, we were incapable of doing so." Quelzon materialized at the front of the Council chamber. "You have violated 17 galactic accords. You have." "We have done nothing," Chen interrupted, "except respond to centuries of surveillance and preparation for first contact that you never bothered to make official. We know about the observation posts in the Kuiper Belt. We know about the neural mapping studies you've been conducting on abducted humans. We know about the colonial rights you've already divided our system into." The chamber fell silent. These were classified operations, known only to the highest levels of Council intelligence. Chen continued, We didn't develop faster than light travel through your methods. We didn't need to. While you relied on technologies developed thousands of years ago, we approached the problem differently. Humans don't live for centuries like most of you. We don't have time for incremental progress. So we invented artificial intelligence to help us think faster. We built quantum computers to simulate universes. We learned to manipulate dark energy not through trial and error, but through pure mathematics. She leaned forward. You sent a fleet to intimidate us. We disabled it without firing a shot, without harming a single life. That was your warning. The real one. What do you want? Quelsen asked, his energy field flickering with what might have been fear. A seat at the table, Chen replied. As equals, not as subjects waiting for permission to join your club. We're not asking for membership in your council. We're informing you that humanity is now a galactic power, whether you acknowledge it or not. She paused, letting the words sink in. You have a choice. We can work together, trade technology, share knowledge, and expand the boundaries of what's possible. Or you can try to stop us and learn that humans became apex predators on a death world where everything tried to kill us. We learned to fight before we learned to walk. The transmission ended, leaving the council in stunned silence. The vote was unanimous. Humanity was granted immediate full membership, with all rights and privileges. No species wanted to test what would happen if they voted otherwise. As Chen's ship departed, it left behind a final message that would echo through galactic history. The silence is over. Humanity has arrived. The galaxy would never be the same.